If you make a difference in one person's life, that person will grow up to make a difference in someone else's life. The big art sale, we have over 250 artists, and we work with the Art Association of Ethiopia. You're better off feeding one child every day than 1,000 people once a week. We started our father's kitchen almost 15 years ago. I love my staff. Most of them are single moms, and when they cook like they're cooking for their children. And I used to perform for a living, a wonderful career in the performance arts.
Yeah. What led you to establish such a vast network of agencies across Ethiopia?
That became our opportunity, which is to train them. If you're thoughtful, you reflect before you open your mouth.
You are also touching lives and changing people's lives.
For me to be able to have a peaceful night, I'm very successful.
Good afternoon. This is your Pan-African show called Afreeqa. Today, yet again, I come with another special guest, and he's actually invited me to his beautiful space, which is Lime Tree in Queens. Welcome. Or are you supposed to say welcome, or am I supposed to say welcome? You're busy eating. How's the shuro?
I swear to you, if there was an award for the best shuro in town, it's here. Not because it's Lime Tree. The finest shuro you can ever find.
What makes it so special?
I'll tell you. The big mistake people make when they make shuro is they don't quite get the garlic and the besto bila in the mint and shuro right.
Okay, so that's the secret.
Either they put too much or too little. Here, it's perfection. If the besto bila is too much, it even changes the color and creates a bitter aftertaste. And if it's too little, it kills the shuro. This is just right.
Okay, I'm gonna have to taste it now that you've. So, Yasser, as we're eating, we're going to have a nice conversation, hopefully. And one of the things I want to ask is, I'm sure a lot of people do know you, but just for those that don't know how deep me and your friendship goes, can you give us a little background
it's
how
shallow.
you grew up?
Our friendship is very shallow.
Very shallow.
We go back many years, unfortunately, since we were children. We've known each other since I was 11 years old, 10 years old. In spite of these many, many years, we still tolerate each other in public.
And we eat together.
And we eat together. And at least we show a positive front. But what people do not know about us is how much I adore you.
Me too, my dear. Me too. So, I'm going to start on the questions, or should I not while you're eating?
No. I almost love you as much as this shuro.
Ooh!
And that's a big compliment.
It is! If I'm at the same level as shuro, Yasseriye.
I mean, almost at that level. You're getting there. We just need a few more years to strengthen the relationship. 40 years? 40 years is not enough.
We need a couple more.
Maybe a few more, yeah. Anyway, what's your questions?
So, how did you start your journey in the communications industry, and what led you to establish such a vast network of agencies across Ethiopia?
I joined Cactus by accident. I never formed Cactus. I came in about a year or 2 years after its formation, and when I joined Cactus, I really thought it would be for 6 months or 1 year. And then it became 22 years.
Still counting.
No, I left. I left Cactus about 6 years ago. Somebody else runs the agency, but I still oversee.
Yeah.
Then I realized there was a need for a good, top-notch public relations agency. And then we opened Prologue, which is an amazing organization. Then we saw almost 100% void, you can say, in below the line marketing. And then we opened Pulse in partnership with a South African company. And that company now has 20 to 25 different offices around the country. So the communication side of business is huge. It's a huge operation. Over 1,300 employees in just, 1,300 including my restaurant business. We have about 1,300 employees.
Wow.
So it's a huge operation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you tell us about the challenges and opportunities you've encountered while running Cactus Communication and its affiliated companies?
With Cactus, the biggest, with the communication side of things, our biggest frustrations is actually limitations of platforms. There's so many platforms out there around the world that we could use in terms of digital platforms that we can't fully utilize. The biggest challenge for us was when we started Cactus, the industry was so young. We could not find the right kind of personnel in marketing. So that became our opportunity, which is to take staff in and train them to become the best marketeers in the country. As a matter of fact, we've trained so many over the years that half the industry came from Cactus, yeah. And it's wonderful to see the industry growing. And if I go to any agency in town, either they started from a Cactus employee or created by a Cactus employee or led by a Cactus employee, a former employee. So it gives me pleasure that our legacy is affecting the industry.
What strategies have you employed to manage and expand a catering operation that services over 7,000 meals to major corporations?
Yeah, we hire passionate people. I love my staff, amazing people. Most of them are single moms, and when they cook like they're cooking for their children. We push that element. They cook from their hearts. I care deeply about my staff, and the staff know that. And I'll give you a tour. You'll meet the staff later on. So our biggest strategy is hiring people who are passionate and who can take care of the business like it's their own. And when they start caring about the business like it's their own, I can open another operation because I know a piece of me is running this one.
What do you think, or how do business owners like you get a good staff? Do you actually bring them and train them the way you want to train them? Or how do you get these good people?
We prefer to train people the way we want them to work.
The way you want them.
Yeah. I'm not big on pre-trained people.
Yeah.
Because I want to shape them in a certain way to be able to maintain a certain consistency.
How do you ensure quality and consistency in the meals provided by your catering company, especially given the scale of operations?
Oh, that's a very good question. We have a whole team that creates the recipes, they measure the recipes. We know exactly to create a pot of awat for 50 people or 100 people. How many kgs of onion go and how many kgs of berbere, how many kgs of onion.
They have
and so that's done. And then once that's done, then we have a whole team that goes around and does tasting. And that's how we do it. And then
Wow.
I go personally and have meals at different canteens and meet my staff and have their wonderful food. And if it's less wonderful, then I tell them to shape up.
Could you share your experience in balancing multiple roles as a CEO, restaurateur, and volunteer? How do you prioritize and manage your time effectively?
I struggle with that. I'm not as effective as I look. I could be more effective. But I structure everything. I have lists. I'm a list guy. I always love lists. I put lists together. I break down my list every morning, meet with my team. I delegate very well. I train very well. But if I try to keep all the knowledge to myself, my team will not grow. So I really try to share as much of my knowledge. So in most cases, they're better than me.
What inspired you to found Our Father's Kitchen, and how has the organization evolved since its inception?
We started Our Father's Kitchen almost 15 years ago, maybe longer. I was at the Lime Tree on Boston Brothers building. Do you remember Boston?
That was my favorite one.
Yeah. So I was there, and then every day I see a young kid, maybe 10, 11 years old. He comes every single day and collects the trash. Now let me describe my trash to you, the Lime Tree trash. Our trash is leftover food, salsa qorqorro, cigarette stubs.
So everything is in one.
Bathroom stuff.
Wow.
Everything goes into one big bag. Raw chicken bones. Everything goes into that bag. And then he comes and takes it. And I see him every day at about 4 p.m. when the shifts change. He comes and takes a big bag and everything is mixed in. So one day I decided to follow that kid. So I went with one of my staff, we followed him. He went from Bole by foot carrying that all the way to Mescal Flower Road, you know where the train track is, Villa Verdia Kababi. He went further in and suddenly he arrives and a whole community comes, they open and they started eating, finding food, rummaging. And I realized, then I started going back to the Lime Tree telling them to separate their trash. Then I found myself dumping a whole pot of food into the trash can.
Because you know where it's going.
Like full, like a whole pot of misir, a whole sauce, knowing that the whole community is going to go there.
To eat it.
And then I started with a young lady called Bella Chacho, a wonderful, wonderful friend. She's still my friend. So her and I, and my ex-wife, started a program where we go to a church or a mosque on a Friday or a Sunday, and we take a lot of food and feed as many people. But it didn't feel right. It felt as though I was responding to guilt. It felt almost like a vanity project. I was not really helping them. It's just for me to say, I fed people, to tick that box. Then I met a lady called Simone, a French lady. She came and told the program and said, this is not working. You're better off feeding one child every day than 1,000 people once a week. So she introduced us to Sister Tibaba from HIDO, an amazing NGO that impacts the lives of 15 to 20,000 women and children living with HIV/AIDS. Sister Tibaba and I met and we formed Our Father's Kitchen under HIDO. And it started with 20 children, 50, 30, 70, 100, 110, 180, 200, 210, 250, 300, 350, 370, 410. I think I'm at 450 now. And every day these children come and have a wholesome meal every single day until they turn 17, until they're less vulnerable. Most of these children are single or double orphan. Many of them are living with HIV/AIDS. So that's where Our Father's Kitchen came from. And the name Our Father came from the prayer Our Father from the Bible. It's a great prayer. And most of my children are Christians. So I wanted something that resonates to my children. So that's how the program began. And that's where it is now.
That is beautiful. That's very touching. Can you share any memorable experiences or stories from your work with Our Father's Kitchen? How have these experiences influenced your perspective on community service?
Well, it's very simple. It makes a difference. If you make a difference in one person's life, that person will grow up to make a difference in someone else's life. You know, I've had some of the children grow up to being, you know, doing something of meaningful and running into me and coming and seeing me. They go, my God, you fed me my only meal a day. And today, because of you, I'm doing this and that at my church or at whatever, or at school. So when I hear stories like that, it moves me. I went to Wilna Masrija one time. I always talk about Wilna Masrija because it's my favorite agency, And I walked in, and one of the kids, as I went to get my something stamped, he got up, left the counter, hugged me and started crying.
Really? He was somebody. Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Then I knew. He didn't tell me. I knew instantly. We just connected,
exactly.
and I could hear his heartbeat as crying. I just could feel it, you know. So that him there, successful, working in my favorite government agency of all.
What more do you want?
What more do I want?
And you just ran into one or two people, and there's like quite a lot of them out there.
Over 15 years. Should be thousands out there, yeah. So it's great. But we do a lot of work elsewhere. We work at Paulo's Hospital. I go there quite regularly, and we meet with the patients and we see what they need and we try to help them. And that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patients there. So it's a joy. How privileged I am to be able to make a difference in someone else's life. How privileged I am, really. I'm as lucky as they get.
Yes, you are. You are actually blessed. You truly are, with all the different sectors, service sectors that you are touching. You are also touching lives and changing people's lives. That's ultimately what we all want to do, right?
And we are
able to do that.
A lot of people, by the way, make a much greater difference than they know they're doing. There's a lady I used to see at my office at Cactus. She was in front trying to cross the street, and she was clearly perturbed, and she was frazzled, carrying stuff, an older lady, and couldn't carry everything. Some random guy, I was at Oil Libya, stops, parks his car, comes out, it was so overwhelming for her because nobody does that. And I said, "Beiti rukno." He opened his trunk, moved everything to the trunk, got in the car, and she walked in the car, and now she was praying for him. That guy has made such a huge difference in that lady's life that day, and not even hers, but mine, because I left there wanting to be a better person. He made me a better person. That guy made me a better person. So there's people making magical things happen around our city.
Yes, there
Right?
are. Yes, there are. I think we're so preoccupied in our little life that we think is so big
And
that
so
we
important.
forget. We forget to look at the next person that's just in front of you. We're so oblivious to what's going on around
Aren't
us that
we?
we lose.
Aren't we? This is so true.
Yeah.
By the way, not everything is about giving money or giving food. Kindness, just being kind goes a long way on this earth.
Absolutely.
Just-
for that person and yourself. It's a double.
You're the winner at the end. By being kind, you're just a winner. It's good energy. You have good energy. You exude good energy. And what do you get in return? Even better energy, right? All around you. So it's just easier. It's easier to be kind than mean. What would you like?
Lenny macchiato work.
Sure.
Finish the correct.
Lenny macchiato, normal. Oh, do you want some cake?
No. Do you?
No.
As an avid art collector and organizer of art events, what role do you believe art plays in society and personal growth?
Oh, art is very, very important because through the arts, you document time. Time is documented through a book, through poetry, through music, right?
Absolutely.
Art beautifies our lives. Art tells a story, be it a song, be it a dance or play or visual art or sculpture. They all have a story to tell, and those stories you pass on to your children. So art is very important. There's art in everything. There's art in the kente print that you're wearing. There's art in every aspect of our lives. Art is so important. Everyone is artistic. They just don't know it.
Exactly.
Most people don't know it.
It's very true.
So,
even in the way we dress.
I mean, everywhere there's art. There's and I'm always touched and moved when I walk around the city, when I walk around my community, go to someone's home, and I see how they beautify their homes, their kitchen, their lives, their bathroom, their bread basket, they're, whatever. It's everywhere. So
Yeah.
art is everywhere. And I love contemporary art. I love visual contemporary art. I come from a theater background. I studied theater and I used to perform for a living. I used to produce shows. I used to do children's theater in the US. And I had a wonderful career in the performance arts.
Yeah.
I moved here and I shifted it to visual arts, supporting the artists.
Can you describe some of the art events you organize and how do they help support the artist community in Ethiopia?
Where do I begin? Our big one is the Big Art Sale that we've been doing for many, many years, almost 15 years. You've attended those, right? Those are at the Hilton Hotel. We have over 250 artists, and we work with the Art Association of Ethiopia. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of paintings and thousands of art lovers coming to shop and buy art. So in the span of that weekend, artists in that weekend sell the highest percentage of their annual income is in 3 days.
3 days, wow. It's huge.
That's huge. We have, up until recently, we're doing Arts Alive at the Hyatt Regency 4 times a year. That's also a magnificent showcase for artists, but it's more curated. We have a project called the Art Tour. Thank you. The Art Tour is done in partnership with the embassies.
Okay.
It ranges. Last year was the Belgian embassy, the British, the French, and the Italian, where we have the art in their houses, and the art buyers and art collectors go into a bus, go from embassy to embassy and buy art. And we sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paintings there. So these are different places where we sell art. But beyond art, we do a lot of things in culture. We have the bag show at the Sheraton every year, where we launch fashion designers' latest designs of bags, and the profits support our Father's Kitchen. We have Culture Talk. Culture Talk is amazing. It happens about 10 times a year, every month. We do bus rides around the city, going to a debate or a factory that makes essence. It's all about educating yourself into the kind of resourcefulness and creativity that happens in Addis Ababa. And more and more and more.
Brilliant. So now I'm coming to your theater. How was your experience founding and running Express Theater in the US?
Oh my God.
Shaped your approach to business and community services in Ethiopia?
I haven't heard the word Express Theater
in years.
in decades. It's a wonderful children's theater that was presenting multicultural art for children. I lived in Texas, and at the time in Texas, I realized that Caucasians were the minority of Texas. Hispanics, Asians were kind of the majority if you combine the two. And so, who wanted to see, Hansel and Gretel with 2 white characters? It did not resonate to the Asian community. So then we decided to do a whole range of multicultural art. And Express Theater was a children's theater producing plays and musicals and programs, workshops, students. We even had a program for teachers, teacher training, how to incorporate multiculturalism into the curriculum. And we developed a whole range of plays and musicals and shows that had a multicultural element to it that resonated to the target audience, which in Texas at the time was not just Caucasian, there was also Hispanic, there's also Asian. And it became a runaway success because that's what the kids wanted to see. So we did really cool, old Mexican fables, African folklore, especially during Black History Month, Cinco de Mayo. So that was an exciting journey. I did that for close to 10 years.
Wow.
And I loved it. I loved Express Theater years. I learned how to produce a show, how to write a play, how to promote it, how to run it. Every aspect of a show, everywhere, into costume design, constructing the clothes, building the sets. I can do everything. I can design the lighting, everything for a show. Wow. So how can that not help you in your life once you're
Absolutely.
done? So every aspect of my life kind of is theatrical now, you know?
And now I'm understanding
Now
more.
you're understanding me more.
Yes, so much more. That is actually so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. I
But-
wish you had done the same thing here.
But
in
I
a
don't
way.
miss it. I burn out. It's a tough.
It's hard.
So those years of Express Theatre have shaped me in many ways, in more ways than you can imagine. Now I run multiple companies with a lot of staff in many cities. I have several consultancies, and I manage all of them because if I can do a show, worry about every aspect of the show, I can juggle.
Absolutely.
So I became a juggler because of those rough years of running a theatre company.
What are your future plans and aspirations for your businesses and philanthropic endeavors in Ethiopia and beyond?
I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, really.
You're open.
I'm open, my heart is open, my spirit is open. But one thing for sure, I feel I haven't begun yet. There's something waiting to happen in my life. I'm waiting for the laws of attraction to bring that to me. I love my life. I'm blessed to live the life I live, but I have a higher calling, and I'm waiting.
You're waiting.
I'm waiting, yeah. So I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Now, had I known what I'll be doing tomorrow, I would not tell you.
I kind of figured that one out. Because I think you became so successful because of that.
I insulate my thoughts and ideas. I don't talk to anyone. And
I think that's
it's
very
like
good.
the biogas. If you put air in a biogas, it never lights up, right? You need to keep it totally so that the
sealed.
gas, and then when you put that flame, the fire. I believe in that. So I'm between a great exciting thing coming up soon to I don't know. That's the range.
Which, you know what, I like. I'm very much okay with it.
Good,
Because
good.
I'm more excited about the other one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice. How do you envision the future of communications and catering industries in Ethiopia?
Oh.
And what role do you see yourself playing in that future?
Oh, I hope I have zero role in any of this. I hope there's a whole new generation
That's
of
about to-
brilliant young Ethiopians who will take communication to the next level, who will take catering and food to the next level. I hope I do not exist in that
That's-
landscape.
So now, what I'm going to bring into this conversation, because you're in the hospitality business, our exchange rate has actually changed now. So how do you think that's going to affect, it's not just you actually, it's all of us,
Yeah.
technically.
It's exciting. It's very, very exciting, but nerve-wracking. It's scary. It's a big, bold move that the government took. But I'm super excited because one thing for sure, it kills the black market, which is a good thing. There's a whole industry that's working in the gray zone. That should be eliminated, and businesses will thrive long term. I think overall it's a great thing. It opens up the market. By the way, the moment they float the dollar, it doesn't become birk ayhonim. Anyone can go to a bank, get any dollars they want.
Yeah.
Done. They opened it up. That's the future. But they did it intelligently. It's been in the works
In
for
the
a
works
long
for a while,
time.
yeah. Can you share a personal philosophy or motto that guides your life and work?
Thoughtfulness. Just being thoughtful
I did?
in the work, and when you cook, when you make a decision, put thought into it. Make sure it's thoughtful. How you communicate to people. You can hurt someone's feelings without even knowing.
Yeah.
But if you're thoughtful, you reflect before you open your mouth. So I think thoughtfulness.
How do you define success, both professionally and personally, and what achievements are you most proud of?
For me, great success is when I go home, I close my apartment door, I do my evening prayers, I read a book or watch a movie, I put my head on my pillow and I sleep instantly. That's success. To be able to close my eyes and sleep. How many people struggle around the world? They can't sleep the night with the worries and struggles. For me to be able to have a peaceful night, I'm very successful.
Yasser, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you again.
Yasser, thank you, my dear friend, of 45 years.
Ooh, you just gave away our age. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is your Pan-African show called Afreeqa with your host Kasanor Seifu and Yasser Bagersh today. Thank you again.
Give me 5.
Love you.
Love you too.